funny because, the Army rolled out this new physical fitness test. Well, it's like CrossFit on crack. And I'm like, people are gonna get broke. And so
Really?
it is like from where we were to now, it's pretty
I wonder
stringent.
what the Air Force is up.
I think they're the
theirs
same.
is now.
Theirs is
What is it? What are
the push-ups, the sit-ups, and the bicycle still, I think.
Bicycle?
Yeah, they
Who
have the bicycle.
bicycle?
I think so. I think they still do, don't they?
I did the 1.5 mile run, push-up, sit-ups.
Or maybe it's the alternate that they have then is the bicycle.
Well, one year they did offer to do. I thought this was so ridiculous. They came over around, and I always had perfect. I always had perfect scores on my fit test. I always did, and I remember one year because I had a heart thing, and they were like, "You could do the step test." I go, "What's that?" And they're like, "You step on." I go, and I didn't listen, and I just went out to the track and I ran, and they're like, "You weren't supposed to run." I go, "That would have stressed me out more than this." But it was 1.5 miles, and then push-up, sit-ups, push-ups, minute, sit-ups.
Okay.
But what are they now?
Oh, it's a.
Because you're how old?
I'm 37.
Okay, I'm 43, and I think I had to run the 1.5 miles. I can't remember the time. I honestly don't remember. What is it now?
That's one thing I liked about getting older in the military is like, okay, now I have to run 2 miles in 17 minutes and 45 seconds. No issue. 35 push-ups, and I think it was 45 sit-ups in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So not bad. So now it's a 6-event theme.
6 events.
So you've got to do, if I can think off the top of my head. So you got to do the deadlift. And you have to, it's a minimum you have to lift.
Pommel horse rings. No, just kidding.
Hacky sack.
So
Deadlift. You have to do they changed the push-up. So like now when you do push-ups, you push up. And then when you go down to the ground, you do your arms out. I'm still trying to figure out that.
Okay.
And you have to do the leg tuck. So you hang from the bar and then you pull yourself up and touch your knees to your elbows. You have to do the medicine ball toss.
Oh, that's
which isn't too bad. And then you have to do the killer. It is so you start off on the ground in push-up position. You sprint down. I think it's 25 meters. You sprint back. You grab 90-pound weight and drag it down, then back. Then you have to do the Heisman, like the feet to out, to out. Down, back. Then you grab the kettlebells, run down, back, and then you sprint down and back. Holy shit. When we did and then you have to finish with the 2 mile.
Okay. So that is kind of CrossFit on crack. That's much different.
It is. And one thing that is great is the 2 miles, it's not gender or age based anymore.
Yeah.
It's everyone has 20 minutes to complete, 21 minutes to do the 2 miles.
Gotcha.
So
that's cool. That keeps it on
a few months, the month before we actually took the diagnostic, the commander and I are out there doing it, and I got super sidetracked with something, and I got out there and I was only able to do the leg tuck thing and then the drag and pull. And so her and I are she goes first and does it, and then I do it right after her, and of course everyone's flocking over to watch the commander and the first sergeant do it, and I'm like, good God. And so then I'm doing it, and I was so it was that 5 so when you do all this dragon stuff, you got 3 minutes to get it done.
Oh.
So, and I think I got mine done in like 1 minute and 50 seconds. I don't know why I was being hua overachiever. And so I thought I was gonna literally die afterwards. I was walking away
Travis vomits on his commander. I did, sir.
She's sitting there practically dying. I'm this is it. This is how we're going out. This is it. This is what takes us. And so we were joking the next month when we did the diagnostic, because her and I are okay, so lieutenant, platoon leader, just be prepared to take over as commander. And I'm and you over here be prepared to take over as first sergeant, because I think we're gonna die doing all events today at once. But we both did really well, and it was one of those things. It felt good because I'm as a first sergeant, able to do it. And of course,
Yeah.
as I'm doing it, like they're like, "Oh, well, why don't you deadlift more?" And I go, "I'm not overexerting myself. This is a diagnostic. I am not. Oh, come on, first sergeant, set the standard." I'm like, "Oh, we ain't playing this stuff right now,
Yeah.
I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
like, you can't play the mind games on me.
I
I'm
met the
37.
requirements. I did. Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and try to lift, and then my legs are. I'm like, I have skinny legs. Like these scenes aren't gonna wear out before the whole thing even starts. So it was great. It was good, but it's just getting out there to be with them. And one thing I always was taught, because when I got into the military, I had amazing mentors.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
always pushed mentorship in the military. And I'm like, I will teach you to fish. I will not fish for you.
Good.
I will be out there. I will do stuff with you. If I'm not stuck on some conference call or bombarded, I will get out there and I will do training with you. I'm not too good for it, because unfortunately I've seen those type of leaders where it's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to stay out in a tent." No, you're staying out in a tent.
Yeah. Stay in the tent.
You're
Not
gonna
if
be
you're
out
Air
there.
Force.
Right? You got the air conditioned tents, trailers. So I think that's one thing I do especially love about, as stressful as being a first sergeant can be.
Yeah.
I feel like I get to actually bring that human realness and that special, I don't know, I was about to say special touch of HR.
Yeah. It's a special touch.
I get
it
to
really
bring
is.
it over on that
Yeah.
side, and I think that's part of the reason, especially why I'm so trying to engage more in consulting, because
Yeah.
I want to get in there and really work with small businesses and medium businesses, and go get to bring that and help shape
Yeah.
companies and say, okay, let's mold you while we can
Yeah.
before you're stuck in your ways, because God knows that's going to be a lot of couch sessions and why your mama didn't love you type things to get you to break your mindset to say, like, this is what's best for
Yeah.
not only my company, but my employees.
Yeah.
Your employees are an investment. They are an asset.
Yeah.
And your companies are what make your employees are what make your company move.
Yeah.
And, that's what sometimes people forget when you look at, like, not construction, but, you look at, warehouse work. It's like your people who work on the line. I mean, they make your company.
They make your
move.
company.
And you've got to think about that. Just because you're up in the air conditioned office making decisions doesn't mean that you're better than the ones down there that are actually filling those orders or putting vehicles together. And people lose sight of that.
They do.
And that's what's sad. And it's like, we all contribute to the big picture. And it goes back to that treat the janitor or custodial as you would the CEO.
Yeah.
Like, you show them respect, treat them as a person, and people forget that it's so much about hierarchy and titles.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a title on anything.
Yep.
I'm an HR guru, I'm an HR whisperer, like, you can do that. Which yours is HR whisperer, isn't it?
It's the people whisper, but you're right. You've got to have some action to that.
Yeah.
You've got to have that action to it, because it's a heavy responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you open your mouth, it's like a Pandora's box. Or once it's like you can't go back.
Right.
It's like you can't go back to being an asshole. You're here. You're here.
Yeah.
So settle into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.